I found my wife sending nudes to her married coworker who just had a baby, and in their messages they were joking about me washing her underwear that he got soaked and making them dinner while he does her. Posted by u/thrower03739209. A few days ago, I, 33M, noticed my wife, 31F, deleting a text thread, which is something she has never done. I decided to check her laptop as texts go through there, and I was shocked to find that she was having an explicit conversation with a coworker who also happens to be married and just had a child a few months ago. For context, we have been together for about 13 years and married for 4. We both work in demanding jobs in healthcare. Like any couple, we have had plenty of ups and downs. The last couple years have really been a rut. It has felt like we are constantly more irritable with each other. Our intimacy has been nearly gone for a while now, however we both felt this may be part of depression and hormonal issues that we are having and working on. Another issue that bothers me is that for the entirety of our relationship, she has made jabs at how men always cheat and I will someday cheat on her. Her previous relationship before me ended with her boyfriend living a complete second life with a different woman. She used to go through my phone when she felt I was texting a particular female too much. Given all that, this current situation just enrages me. This coworker of hers has always been a close friend for the last 3 years. It's been obvious in the past that he has had a crush on my wife, but I have never seen any evidence that it was reciprocated. He has sent suggestive texts in the past, and she had shut it down and insisted he likes to get a rise out of people. In the last few days, I have seen texts of the two of them complaining about their intimate lives, talking about how much they want to be together, sending nudes. He has even sent an explicit photo with part of his wife's face in it, claiming he wishes it was my wife. There has been a lot of complaining about me and about his partner and how we do not gratify them. She has been trying to stay on top of deleting threads but often does not think to delete the stuff from bedtime to overnight. I am fairly confident nothing physical has happened yet. Part of me feels guilty for this. I have not been a perfect husband by any means. I have always been the one to do all the chores at home, care for the pets, cook, do our laundry. I will admit though that I am not the most emotionally available husband. I'm just not a cuddler or overly intimate person. I understand this affair is her choice and not mine, but I do feel like I've pushed her into this, and I feel the guilt of it. My problem is that I do not know how to approach this. At first I was shocked and angry. Now I am numb and emotionless. Part of me feels the writing was on the wall for this marriage a while ago, and this is the final blow. Our family lives are insanely intertwined, and we literally share the same friend group. I don't know if I should just be trying to move out and figure things out or if I should just be getting a divorce at this point. I know I will be gaslit when I finally confront her, and I don't even know how to confront her. I also don't know if I should tell the other guy's wife. I feel guilty given that they just had a baby. Reading this back, I understand I probably look like an idiot for not already having left, but I am struggling. We do not have kids, just pets. The relationship felt like it was going south for a few years now, but this was completely unexpected. I truly do not know if this is something I can forgive and move past or not. Another big issue of mine is the amount of disrespect thrown at me in those chats that she laughed along at. Me washing her underwear that he got soaked or making them dinner while he does her. I don't know if that's something I will ever get over. I'm a non-confrontational, pretty go with the flow guy, but these jokes are pretty foul. Even if I get over the texting crap, it is hard to process how she can laugh along at stuff like that. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, most people commenting seem to think all the blame falls on your wife. I think you are wise to recognize the ways you have also failed in your marriage. It takes 2 for a marriage to disintegrate. I think the best way to determine if your marriage can be saved is to talk to your wife about what you read, and state the things you wrote here about the ways you wish you had behaved differently. Tell her you love and value her and want to work on improving things. Suggest couples therapy. If she really loves you, she will come around. Ops response, a big issue of mine is the amount of disrespect thrown at me in those chats that she laughed along at. Me washing her underwear that he got soaked or making them dinner while he does her. I don't know if that's something I will ever get over. I'm a non-confrontational, pretty go with the flow guy, but these jokes are pretty foul. Commenter 2, an emotional affair is just a physical affair that hasn't gotten physical yet. Here's the deal, my guy. Cheating is a choice. If the marriage is no longer working for her, she could have chosen to communicate that to you or chosen to file for divorce and move on. Instead, she sought out an emotional affair and chose to cheat on you. Stop acting like this is your fault. Cheating is never the fault of the person who got cheated on. Even if the relationship is not as good as it could be, the choice to cheat, and it is a choice, falls on the person who chose to step outside of monogamy instead of trying to fix the problems or simply moving on. File for divorce. Move on with your life. And stop beating yourself up. Marriages fail for all sorts of reasons. But none of those reasons justify cheating. Update 1, 1 week later. I ended up having the confrontation early last week. It wasn't exactly when I had planned it, but she knew something was up as I had emotionally checked out over the few days leading up to it. Some background info I learned and not provided in the original post. The texting had gone about a week total. It turns out I had discovered it pretty early on, although they have texted a lot for the last few years. I've seen them in the past, and there was nothing like this, genuinely just work-related stuff. There was also a lot of remarks about the intimacy between us fizzling out, indicating that it may be a sign of the affair being physical. Our intimacy has dried out for the last year or so. We had chalked it up to stress, work, hormones, depression up to this point. In terms of the confrontation, there was no arguing or fireworks. I laid out a lot of grievances about the betrayal and the incredible disrespect I felt. I also pointed out the rage I felt over the hypocrisy of accusing all men of cheating for years. She swore up and down that nothing physical occurred between them. I get it is naive of me to believe it, but for various reasons I do. When I initially threatened to tell the other guy's wife, was when the first wave of defensiveness began. She begged me not to ruin their family with a new baby and focus on fixing our marriage instead. I was also told how the other betrayed spouse will definitely tell all their coworkers, and now both her home life and work life will be ruined. They are both contractually bound to working together for the next 5 years, residency. Her reasoning was that I have not made her feel desired or like a woman in a long time. That she gave into hormones as he was saying things that made her feel craved. Multiple times I did feel like the situation was minimized. Statements such as nothing physical happened, it was just texting have not sat well with me. I also felt like I was being blamed for this. To clarify, we have talked in the past about trying to be more romantic and stuff of that sort. I still feel like that does not mean doing this crap is acceptable. I admitted plenty of my shortcomings during the confrontation but also reaffirmed that what she did was so insanely wrong. I also reached out to the guy. He was clearly panicked and swore up and down nothing physical happened. He begged me not to tell his wife and ruin his life. He claimed his son is his entire world, which I rebuffed by saying all he did was complain about him to my wife. Not long after, he blocked me on everything and was texting my wife to not let your husband move out, and is he going to ruin my life now? I wish I could say that I took my pets and stormed off and moved out like I dreamt up in my head. Sadly, all I did was move out of our room and demand time and space. She has been saying she will respect that, but has been persistently approaching me asking to talk about our marriage for the last several days. My emotions have ranged from complete rage to completely dead inside. I have just been working or in the bed sleeping for 14 hours a day at this point. I know I'm checked out at this point. I've been fighting passive thoughts of not wanting to be here, wishing for a car to crash into me or just to not wake up. I can assure all that I have no active plans of self-harm, and that is not the point of this post. I feel like my entire life has been turned upside down. I recently established with a therapist for the first time in my life. Plenty of childhood stuff from terrible parents, and she has been telling me that I am mourning a life I thought I had. Truthfully, I am just over all of this and everything. I have definitely just got into self-protection mode now. A few days ago, she asked me if I would be willing to see a marriage counselor with her. I begrudgingly agreed. During our first session, I admitted I am unsure if I want to save this marriage or not. I was not a very active participant as I was quite checked out. It had only been like 3 days since confrontation. We have more appointments coming up. I have told her that I am unsure I will ever get over this betrayal. I have also told her it is clear we have significant incompatibilities. She has been begging me to try as we have been together for so long, so clearly something works about us. She has been trying to be affectionate the last couple days and getting me to reciprocate, hold her hand, give a kiss, compliment her. I have not told the other guy's wife yet. I have not decided if I will or won't. Morally, I know the absolute correct decision is to tell her. However, as mad as I am at my wife, I am not trying to just ruin her entire life. I am not out to get revenge on people. I grew up with enough confrontation and am definitely a non-confrontational person now. I have also not ruled out telling her yet, but am just thinking on it. I apologize for how much this post is just a rambling mess. All in all, emotionally I feel dead inside. I have lost all joy in my life and am just doing the motions. I do not know if I will be able to get over this to save the marriage, and I do not know if I want to save the marriage. Our lives are just so intertwined that splitting will be such a difficult and miserable process. My closest friend is the only person who knows, and they have made it clear that divorce would be their only choice if they were in my shoes. I am lucky to have had their support during this, but I do feel guilty for just dealing with this situation. I know most replies will be that I should have already started the divorce process, and I wish it was that easy. I will value advice, and I know quite a few people had asked for updates. I definitely missed a lot of info and will try to reply as I can. Thank you. For clarification, yes, I have a large chunk of these texts documented and saved. I do not know if I will ever get over this. When I told her that I don't know if I'll ever get past this, she told me how she knows that I hold grudges against people, referencing my poor relationship with my parents these days. I definitely feel like there's been minimizing of the situation, but she frames it as trying to move forward and learn from the situation. I also just learned that he texted her last night to complain about some work situation to her. I was told they were completely done speaking to each other, but it turns out the only person getting blocked is him blocking me after I confronted him. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. This. He probably is cheating with multiple people, not just your wife. You are saving that woman from a lifetime of cheating and saving his kid from seeing it. Commenter 2. He could be, but that's a big leap. To be clear, I'm not suggesting the correct action is any different. We don't wait for a criminal to do it 3 times before we lock them up if we catch them the first time. Commenter 3. To add to the AP. It is possible the op's wife has done this in the past as well. Op's response. Yeah, this is the doubt that has started to creep into my mind. I always felt secure, and she had been so hurt from her previous boyfriend cheating on her. But there was always these ridiculous accusations at me that I will cheat one day, and now I wonder if that was insecurity or a guilty conscience. Commenter 4, I think the moral injury you're setting yourself up for will forever overshadow your relationship if you don't tell OBS, even in the off chance you reconcile. Protecting those who betrayed you isn't the right choice here. You're not ruining anything. That's already done. Ops response, yeah, I'm wrestling with this a lot. I do think I will tell her, and it's just figuring out how I want to approach this. Commenter 5, Op on getting therapy. Ops response, yeah, I just started up with a therapist a week ago, so I'm hoping to make some progress there. Commenter 6, you say they are contractually forced to work together. That is not true. She can quit, right? She needs to make some steps to fix the issue. Losing her job should be a simple thing to do. There may be penalties, but is it worth it to her to break your marriage further? Ops response, there are massive financial implications of leaving the job that we or she literally cannot afford. Commenter 7, he is still texting your wife after the confrontation? Ops response, so I just learned that he texted her yesterday complaining about some work situation. I was initially told they are completely cutting off all contact outside of required in work stuff, clearly a lie. Commenter 8, fellow med spouse here. Are you also a physician? If so, then you should know how these things go. They are going to be around each other all the time, and she's already trickle-truthed you and is now lying about their communication. She isn't thinking about you in the slightest. You know what you have to do. Also tell the other spouse. Ops response, yup, I'm in fellowship for palliative care and she's still in residency. Commenter 9, Op on saving evidence. Ops response, yes, I have everything saved in multiple devices. Partly because I couldn't even process what I was reading in the moment. Commenter 10, Ops location. Ops response, New York State. Commenter 11, Op on his wife blocking the AP. Ops response, I brought it up today in therapy. She told me she thinks it is unreasonable to completely cut out someone she sees and works with on a daily basis and has to talk to for patient care. Yes, I know, massive red flag. The therapist agreed demanding him be cut off is reasonable. The therapy session today was a joke. Multiple times the therapist said my point was completely reasonable, and she just kept getting upset. She outright said completely blocking this guy off is unreasonable due to work. Constantly keeps saying she is being punished when I say I'm struggling to get past this affair. And tons of why my shortcomings resulted in this affair. Commenter 12, does Op have kids with his wife? Op's response, no kids. At my breaking point, 5 days later. I truly feel like I've hit my breaking point. I feel completely numb half the time, and the other half there is a deep raging self-hatred. I despise who I am in my life. My entire life I've been told nothing but what my faults are. Perfectionist abusive parents who never once helped me build any pride, but only tore down any accomplishments. I recently found out my partner of 14 years was having an affair with a coworker and have been processing that as well. Seeing all their texts and her reasoning only validating all those thoughts about how everything I touch or do is a failure. I have almost no true reliable friends. The worst part is I have a large group of fair weather friends who are around when times are great. If I confide in someone how I'm feeling, I can just feel the disgust and repulsion. I work in a fairly depressing field in medicine. I get fulfillment from my job, but it's constant loss. A not insignificant amount of my coworkers think my specialty shouldn't even exist and that we just hold patients' hands and listen to them cry. I find myself coming home from work and just sleeping. I know I'm depressed. I've always been depressed. I'm on antidepressants. I recently started therapy, but I just feel gone. I go to sleep every night praying I don't wake up. I drive to work hoping someone swerves at my car. Literally anything to end this. I am so sick and tired of my life. I am so sick and tired of nothing but my faults being front and center. My pets are probably the only thing keeping me going at this point because they rely on me to be fed. Otherwise I have nothing. I'm not looking for a pity party or anything. I just can't do this anymore. Update 2, 6 days later. I have received a lot of messages asking about updates. I will link the original post and the first update below. For background, we have been together for 13 years and married for 4. No kids. She does seem to be showing true remorse recently. She has been very open about how badly she messed up and destroyed all our trust. I can't say whether this remorse has moved me at all. I still feel checked out. I've just been coming home from work and sleeping the rest of the day. She tries to get me to cuddle or hug her, but honestly I just feel so empty at this point. It's just going through the motions. I do actually feel bad about how I've been, but this has just struck me so deeply at this point. She has broken off all contact, it seems, with the other guy. She's blocked him on everything and avoids him at work, according to her. I've told her that I'm always going to have this bit of distrust in the back of my mind now. We have been continuing therapy, but honestly it still feels like it's her trying to justify the circumstances that led to the affair. We have clearly identified a lot of huge incompatibilities in our relationship. She wants to fight to change and be stronger, and I just don't even respond still. I feel like this affair validated so many self-doubts. My entire childhood was spent being screamed at about how everything I did was wrong. And now it feels like I'm being told what I did wrong to lead to being cheated on. Sometimes it seems like she understands the gravity, and sometimes she's trying to minimize it so we can move forward. The last few weeks have been awful. I've been struggling between being completely numb and seething with self-hatred. I have not felt this lonely in my life since I was a kid. I have been confiding with 2 friends, but at this point I feel like it's just pushing them away, so I won't be anymore. I'm surrounded by a larger group of fair-weather friends who can't be depended on for anything. My family will never understand divorce, as in this stupid immigrant culture you tolerate anything to stay married. I just am crumbling from the inside and don't even feel like I have the strength to make a decision. I go to sleep every night hoping I don't wake up, as I just want out of this now. Swallowing the pill that essentially half my life is being thrown away is unbearable. I recognize how easy it is to say that divorce is the right choice, but it doesn't make it any easier. Apologies for the rambling. Update 3, 12 days later. So I am the op. I wanted to give an update about this situation. The last month has had me in a very dark place. I have continued to feel like there's many moments of minimizing what happened and many moments of true remorse. I became paralyzed by the stress and shut down. This week I made the decision to move out. I packed the essentials and booked a hotel. Her parents paid a huge chunk of that house, so I'm not asking her to leave. I've begun reflecting on everything, and I see that our relationship has been trying to get past some horrible incompatibilities. I finally have my answer that divorce is the right option. We are not happy together. She cheated, and I'll never get over that. She is begging not to, but I will be telling her that I am done. And for the AP's wife, I will tell her too. Final update, 11 days later. Hello everyone. A lot of people messaged me, and I appreciate the support. The last month has been pretty dang miserable to say the least. Regarding telling the other guy's wife, she knows now. Turns out, he was texting similarly with 2 other nurses at the hospital, and she had caught him. She then found text messages from my wife he had saved on his phone. We spoke briefly, and I apologized for not telling her sooner. But yeah, she knows. Regarding my marriage, every single day I waffle between divorce or not. There are some days where it feels like she's being accountable, and some days where there are nasty arguments. She still gets mad when I say cheating is nothing physical happened. She still gets mad when I make it seem like it's all her fault and I didn't contribute to it. Yesterday she told me that she should have fricked him, so at least she would have gotten something out of it. Today she blew up on me for saying I'm not being accountable for what I did to lead to this happening. Yeah, not exactly the shining example of accountability. She told a few of our friends and her family a very half-done story which excluded the affair entirely and that blamed me almost exclusively. It's gotten to the point where one person said it felt like a PR campaign. She's shown her true colors whenever I tell her we aren't going to recover. She shows how nasty and vile she can get. I won't list the countless other examples. Anyways, yeah, I know plenty of people will feel like I'm being a coward not having left already. I don't know why I'm having this stupid paralysis with it. I do feel bad as our pets were devastated when I temporarily moved out. I know that's not an excuse, but every stupid little thing weighs on me. It's hard throwing away 13 years like this, but if any of my friends came to me with this, I would recommend divorce. Hopefully I grow a pair and just pull the band-aid off soon. I appreciate everyone's kind messages that I've gotten.